Good evening, everybody. Like I said in the voice note I sent to the class, the next thing we are going to be working with is gradient. Gradient is a combination of colors that fades into themselves. Gradient can be made up of more than two colors, but they must fade into themselves. This means that you will not be able to separate them. They will mix up with themselves. Gradient is always used to bring life to a design. It is used to direct attention or focus to your design. I normally use gradient. I use it most of the time when I'm working with design that has background at the that has image at the background and a text on the image. So instead of reducing the transparency of my image, which is the background, I'll just apply the gradient and reduce the transparency of the gradient. Now let's start by launching our Canva app. So unlike the previous class that we used one of the Canva templates, we are going to be creating our design by ourselves. You tap Instagram post. The reason why I use Instagram posts for my design is so that I'll be able to post them on all social media platforms. If you use any other one, maybe a flyer, you will not be able to post it on Instagram. Instagram will just cut some part off, which will not be nice to your design. So just go for Instagram post and tap blank. You have your blank background. You can change the background if you want, but I'm not going to change it since I'm using an image. Go to this plus sign at the lower part of the Canva app. Go to images. Now you can select your image from your gallery. If you already have the image in your gallery, you can select from camera roll, or you come to images and choose from your Canva images. Now you will have to type the keyword to narrow your search. Type the keyword of what you're looking for. I used lady to search for that image I used for the design I sent to the group. I used lady. So this is my image. You can reduce the transparency of your image, but I don't like reducing transparency of my image because it will just be there. It will just be there like that. Spread it out. Spread it out. Spread it out. Tap done. Okay, so like I said, you can reduce the transparency. I don't like reducing transparency of my work. So I'll just come to this plus again. Go to either images or illustrations. You can get gradients from images or illustration, but there is a slight difference. If you come to images and search for gradients in the Canva images, search for gradients. Okay, let's just pick anyone since we are actually not working. This is Canva. It will have print on it. Gradients. Search for gradients. Let's choose this. It's free. Okay, you can see that you have option to change the color of the gradients. You have to change the color of the gradient, but it will just give you one color. It will not give you two colors like that former gradient that you have. So I don't like working with image gradients. I'll go to illustrations. I'll go to illustration and type gradients. Sorry, please. Okay, let's use this. You can see you can reduce the transparency of your gradient, but before you reduce the transparency, spread it on your image. You can see it's covering the image. That is not what we are trying to do. After spreading it on your image, reduce the transparency to whatever level you want. You can, even when you reduce it to the last, you can see that the new image is different from the former image. Our new image is now having something like a darker color at one side and a brighter color at the other side. I'm not going to reduce it that much, so let me just leave it at 55. Let me leave it at 55. The next thing I am going to do now, this is going to be very fast, so the video will not be heavy. The next thing we are going to do now is to introduce our text. Go to text. If you have your preferred text font, you can just type straight up, but if not, you can scroll through what you have here and select any one you like. I used this font for the one I sent to the group. Before you do anything, you have to ungroup them, because they are one. You cannot edit one part and the other part will not be affected, so you have to ungroup them. Tap on the text and go to ungroup. Ungroup is beside the square, the copy option beside the delete option at the upper part of the Canva app. Now tap on the one you want to edit first. I'm editing Happy Birthday first. Tap on it. Go to your keyboard beside the text size control and type what you want to type. Done. You can increase the text size by coming to this text size control. Increase it. Yeah. Increase it. After that, come to Mitchell and change it the way you change the first one, the Happy Birthday. Change it to you will be fine. We used you will be fine. There. Hold it by the side to spread it. Then you come here, reduce the font size, the text size. Reduce it to what you want it to be. Reduce it to your taste. Done. Now you can change the colors of the text. How do you change the color? Tap on it. After tapping on it, go to your color palette and select what you want. There are two ways to select color. I just showed you the first one now. Then the second one, let me show you. You tap on it, go to your color palette, come to this pencil here. You have something like a mirror. This is to give you the option of selecting a particular shade of color that you already have in the image. Maybe, okay, I have blue in my image. I want to use blue as well for my text, but I want to get the particular shade. So you can use this mirror. You can use it. You can see as I am turning it, as I am moving it, the color is changing. But I want to use white for my text, for my you will be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, it's fine like this. You can change your font. Come to this Ballo board. Go through your font type and type it. Yeah, I think I'm fine with this. Now you have to get the middle. How do you get the middle? You remember, move it until you have a straight line. The straight line is telling you that, okay, this is the middle. Do the same thing for this. Yeah, this is the middle. Okay, now that is fine. So the next thing we are going to do is this. It is very important when you are working with gradients. It is very important to add border to your design. When you add border to a design, it will not just be there. It will make it to come alive. It will spice it up. It will not make it look like a regular blur or transparent image or something. So you'll see the difference now when we introduce our border. How do you introduce border? Come to this plus sign here, go to shapes and choose any border you like. If you want circle, so be it. If you want square, choose square. If you want triangle, choose triangle. Remember, don't use these ones. These are not borders. Those are the regular shapes. So let's use this. I am using this frame as a border. So As it is now, it is too thick. For me, it is too thick. So I'll just squeeze it in. How do I squeeze it in? Hold it by this edge. Push it in until you have the thickness that you want. Then after you spread it by the side, remember don't spread by the edge, spread it by the sides. After spreading, get the middle. When you are working with this kind of, you are working with border and you want to get the middle, you must have two parallel lines. You must have the horizontal and the vertical lines at once. Here, now is at the middle. If you think the border is too close, I still want to spread it more, you can spread it. Now I want to change the color of my border. I'll use this pencil to get the color I want, because I don't want to be having too many colors. This purple that is here is the purple of our gradient, that purple in our gradient. Okay, let me use purple. Fine. Okay, let me use this blue. Fine. So the next thing, which is the last thing we are going to be doing now, is to add shadow effect. How do you add shadow effect? Tap on the text you want to create shadow effect for, either the text or the image. Tap on it. Come to these two shapes that are inside themselves beside the delete option. Tap it once. It has copied. That is a copy option. The next thing you do is to change the color of your new text to either black or any dark shade that you want. After changing it, you can now go to push the new text behind the original text. You remember, you come to this menu here. When you tap the menu once, you will see two arrows. One will be facing up, one will be facing down. The one facing up is to push something up. The one facing down is to push something down. This our cursor is on our new text. It's not on our original design. So if we tap this arrow going up, it will not work. So we have to push it down by tapping this one going down. Tap it once and you have it behind. If you want the shadow if you want it to be beside, like you don't want it to be directly behind the original text, you can adjust it. You can adjust it anyhow you want it, anyhow that suits you. Yeah, and that's our shadow effect. That is that about gradient. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to save your project. You save by tapping the arrow beside this one going up, and it will save to your camera roll. Thank you, everybody. Try your hands on something about gradient and let's see how it goes.